So, where can particle flow be found in Max? Particle flow is worked with within Max in two separate workspaces. Firstly in the 3D viewport via its system-specific icons and force space warps, and secondly in the particle view, a special schematic workspace that has been custom designed to facilitate particle flow's particular workflow. Why use particle flow over other particle systems in 3ds Max? Well, 3ds Max does indeed come with other particle systems, namely Snow, Particle Array, Super Spray, Spray Blizzard and Particle Cloud. These are particle systems that have been present since version 1 of 3ds Max. However, with the introduction of particle flow in Max 5.1, these systems have been superseded in terms of control and power. Quite simply, particle flow offers more control to the end user, but does require a little more time to learn from a dead start. However, I'm sure once you have learned particle flow, you'll agree that the effort was worth it. What is particle flow's approach to controlling particles? Particle flow can best be likened to a flowchart in the way that it controls and works with particles. Particles enter the top of the flowchart, and when they pass certain tests, they can be passed on to the next event in the chart. Particles can even be sent back to previous events in the flowchart. It's completely flexible in that manner. As particles pass from event to event, they are acted upon by the operators. As you can see in this chart, I've represented events by these rectangles that you can see in the background. And you can see that in this particular representation of particle flow, there are three events. You can see we have an event here, and an event here. And you can think of events as containers for actions. Now, actions are sub-elements of an event that actually have some kind of effect on your particles. There are two main types of actions. Those are operators, and you can see these rectangles here represent operators, and the other type are tests, and these diamond shapes here represent tests. So at the beginning of every particle flow there's a special event called a particle source. That actually has a global effect over all of your particle events, so it's special in that respect. Then in your first event usually your particles are birthed. In this case we set a position for the particles and we set them a speed, and then we do a test, and the test says, are our particles moving faster than 20? That would be 20 units in 1 second. If the answer is yes, they get passed out to this second event. If no, it carries on to the next test, and in the next test it asks, are the particles older than 20 frames old? And again, if it's yes, they get passed out of the event into a new event where the particles in this case are deleted. So when they reach a certain age, they're sent out to a new event where they're killed. If the answer is no, then the particles go back to the beginning of the event and they continue going around in a cyclical manner until they either pass the tests or it's the end of your simulation. This is how particle flow works in a schematic manner, and this is how it actually follows a flowchart type of workflow. So let's run through those elements again so that we really have got a good idea of what the elements are in our flow. The first element in our flow is a source, and a source is a special type of event from which a particle flow is constructed. It also appears as an icon in the Max viewport, so a source appears in the Max user interface in two areas, i.e. in the 3D viewport and in the particle view, and I'll just quickly show you that.